Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Mooney, and today on this channel I'm going to be showing you how to customize your HUD layout. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've been playing this for about 3 years now, and I noticed some things that, when you're starting the game and you're making a new character, that, your HUD layout, there's some things that's too big, there's some things that's just like, I feel it's in the wrong place, just to help your eyes, see everything a little bit better. We're going to just change the UI and, really quickly, and, I'm going to talk about everything that I'm moving and why I'm moving it to begin with. So, alright, so first off, you're going to, this is how your HUD is going to look like when you first make a character. First thing, what I usually do is, make the chat box a little bit bigger, because, that's fine and everything, this being that size, but, you could make it a little bit bigger, and then, you could see things, you could have a lot more, stuff in your chat, at the same time, not feel like you're squinting, and, things are just moving too quickly in your chat box for you not to see it. That's a pretty fair amount of space right there for your chat bar. All right, so after that, I go to the HUD layout, and I'm going to go through most of this stuff and show you this kind of the stuff that I do to move around. All right, so all this right here, these are your hotbars. These aren't activated yet. If you're on the PS4 slash PlayStation 3, yeah, none of these are active yet, but we're going to get to that later. We're going to go right to the crossbar. This is your first thing. This is the crossbar. This is where your actions are, where all your moves are set. So you're going to want to move this down less out the middle of the screen, and you're going to want to shrink it a little bit. Now, to change the size to something in your HUD layout, all you have to do is tab the right analog stick, and you'd be able to change the size to it. So, alright, I think that's a pretty fair size right there. A little bit smaller than what it was, and you're going to want to just move it down a little bit, less out the middle of the screen. Yeah, right there is probably fine. Alright, so next thing is the progress bar. Now your progress bar is, when you're, selecting an item, you're interacting with it, or you're casting a spell. That's what your progress bar is. And let's move that, a little bit closer to the crossbar. A little bit down, probably like right there. And it doesn't really need to be that big anyway. You can make it like, probably like there. It's a good size. Alright, so your target bar, we're not going to mess with your target bar. That's pretty fine. Your focus target, now that is when, you can focus on an enemy and not look at one. That's what a focus bar is. You can, activate your focus target bar, to look at a boss if you're a healer, so you're not necessarily aiming at the boss, but the boss is like HP, and the moves it's gonna use next. It's really common thing to do. We're gonna move that. I'm gonna move that about right here. I'm gonna move it right here for now, and then we're gonna move the progress bar a little bit over here. Okay. Right there. Very nice, very nice. Alright, next is the party list. This is probably the biggest thing to do, is to change. I don't know whose idea was it to make the party list that big. Like, look at the size of that thing. It takes off, like, almost a quarter of your screen right there. If you was in a party in a 4-man dungeon or an 8-man dungeon, it is taking up a quarter of the screen. So we're gonna shrink it down, and then we're also gonna move it. We're gonna move it way over to the right bottom, because there is no need to have it over on the left side on the top. So when you're basically, what they expect you to do is, when you're doing your moves, and you're doing your crossbar, you're looking at your crossbar over at the bottom, everything else is on the bottom right. And if you're a healer, you're expected to, look over at the top left. There's no need to have it over there. All right, we're gonna make it, and there's no need to be that big too. So, we're gonna make it about right here. That's good for me. I have pretty good eyesight. You can make it a little bit bigger if you want it. I'm probably gonna make it about that size, and we're probably gonna have to change that change where that your focus crossbar is gonna be, because it's overlapping. You don't want to you don't want to have things overlapping. Let's see. Let's make it right there, and then we're gonna move the progress bar a little bit over here. All right, so that's pretty decent. Yeah, right about there. All right, your alliance bars, you could. They're fine. Now your enemy list is, by the amount of enemies you're attacking or you're engaged with. That is your enemy list. It doesn't need to be that big. You can make it a little bit smaller, and you could put it right. I usually put it about right here. Yeah, about right here is fine. Kind of in the middle on the left next to the chat bar. Now your parameter bar, that is, it's showing your health, your magic, and your TP. It could be a little bit smaller. I don't really like to have it too small. Let's see. Put it right about here. I'm probably going to have to move that crossbar a little bit up. There we go. Oop. Alright, now your experience bar. Now this really doesn't need to be that big. There is no need. All you need to know is, for an experience bar, is when you're getting to the next level, or when you're halfway. It doesn't need to be that big, guys. I usually put it onto the side, bottom corner, onto the right. I make it as small as possible. It really doesn't need to be that big. Put it right there. That's fine. Alright, your status effects. Now this is really important. Let's see. Your status effects, it shows your FC buffs. If you're a healer, it shows when you're in cleric stance. It shows, all the beneficials and non-beneficial stats that's going to be on your character. I don't know why it was all the way on the top. You got your health bar, you got your MP bar, your TP bar, you got your crossbar that shows all your moves, all the way on the bottom, and then you got your status effects all the way on the top. We're going to change that. We're going to make that closer. I like to have my status effect bar right above my crossbar. About right there. And I like to have this as big as possible, so they got that right, making it as big as possible. Alright, now your minimap, it could be a little bit smaller. It doesn't need to be that big. We're gonna shrink that minimap to about right there. That's a good size. I'm gonna move it up a little bit. There we go. I can move it up even more. Your notice bar, no, that's fine. Main menu button. Now your duty list. Now I get it why they made their duty list so big. It's really easy to read, but it's really taking up way too much space. So we're gonna shrink it down a little bit. If you really need to look at your duty list, you really need to read it. I don't necessarily read the duty list on the screen. Like, this lets me know what type of quest I have active at the moment. But if I really needed to read the objective of a quest, I would just go to the journal. So that's a pretty good space right there, and we can move it right above the mini map. Alright, now your service info, that shows the time of day. You can move that a little bit up. You can make it smaller, bigger, it really doesn't matter. For that, your gill's fine. You could have your gill stay over there. You could probably move it down a little bit if you wanted to. Along with that experience bar, you could probably move that down a little bit. There we go. Inventory grid, that's fine. That doesn't need to move. Um, Item help, you want to just make that a little bit smaller. Just move that over a little bit. Action. So you get it. Like, this is basically what I'm doing. I'm just, minimizing things, getting things a little bit farther out of the middle and moving them to the side. That's the main goal. You don't necessarily have to do how exactly I'm doing it. And also the limit gauge bar. I don't know whose idea was to have your limit break bar all the way on the top left, but we're going to move that. We're going to make it, where we're going to put it? Let's put it right here. Right in between. Is that a good spot? We're going to put it right here, actually, because I don't want it to overlap with the party list, and we're going to have to move that progress bar one more time. Nice. Alright, is that it? Alright, we're going to save that, and we're going to see how it looks after. Alright, so, yeah. Now, you see my party list, it's nice and small on this side right here. It doesn't need to be that big. You just need to know everybody's HP. If you're a healer, you just need to know their HP, and stuff like that. You need to know their MP, and if they have a status effect. It doesn't need to be that big. If you have bad eyesight, you can make it a little bit bigger, but that's really the general place you would want to have your party list on, There's not too much going on this side. You could do whatever you want on that side. You could move anything you want. You can make more chats. If you check my streams or you check anything like that I do, you can see I have multiple chats on this side right here. In fact, here we're going to move it back. Yeah, that about does it for the HUD layout. Let's take a look at what it used to be one more time, and then we're going to take a look at all the changes that I made to it. So we're going to go back to the original setup. Alright, you see how big everything is? How big and bulky everything's all in the middle of your screen. You could, this is your freedom right here. Just that little middle space you got right here. Everything else is bulked. When you go into a 24-man raid, you're going to have all this stuff on the top right here. It's really annoying. And we're going to we're going to change back and see the stuff that I changed. And yeah, bam. There you go. Now the focus, one more thing before I close the video. Now, the focus target bar that I talked about earlier, this is what a focus target bar is. So I'm looking at the striking dummy. Now, you get this option right here called the focus target. And there you go. Focus target is down there. Any attack that your focus target is going to do, you could focus target anything in the game. Any attack that it's going to do, anything is casting, anything is interacting with, it's going to show up on the focus target bar. So you don't necessarily need to, be looking at your target to know what it's doing. So you could be looking at something else. Like if you're a healer, you could be, targeting the tank and healing the tank while knowing what the boss is going to do. I guess one more thing I'm going to show. Here we go. To activate your hotbar on your HUD layout, all you have to do is press triangle, save it, and bam, there you go. You can make it as big as possible, and save it, bam. Look at that. You got even more moves right there. Now you can fiddle with this. You can change it out. I'm not going to mess with that because, well, I guess I could mess with it a little bit. If you're on the PS4, you got the mouse in the middle. You could just, drag the moves out, and replace it with anything else you want. Let's see. Let's go to my healer because that's probably more beneficial. Like, what would I keep from this? I will keep, if I'm an Astro, I will keep Disable. I won't keep Royal Road. I won't get, like, you want to keep, you know, your off cooldown type of abilities on like a hotbar like this to let you know exactly when they're gonna come back. That's basically what this is. If you're on, you know, a controller, you're not going to be using a hotbar. You're going to be using your crossbar, but you could utilize the hotbar to know exactly when your moves are going to be coming back. Alright, I think this video went on long enough. I think I'm going to end it right here. Well, that is my video to how to change your HUD layout to better, you know, improve it and such. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you guys later. Bye!